What's up, everybody, and welcome in to another edition of Big Men on Basketball. It is Tuesday, November 29th, 2022, and we're going to get to basketball in just a second. However, we're going to watch live USA-Iran. We're in the 99th minute. There was a talk that there might be a penalty, but there's no penalty. USA is going to advance here, barring some sort of late miracle. That should be that. Yep, that's going to be it. They might get a goal here, actually. We'll see. We'll see. What's up, everybody? How's it going today? We're back at home after a interesting Monday night up at Barstool Sports, the Cyber Monday sale. That was interesting. The telethon, we'll talk about that in just a second. If you're out there, hello. How you doing? Do me a favor, hit that retweet button on Twitter. Get the show out there to people that may not know we're on. And as always, we're going to talk a little college hoops. We're going to talk about the card tonight. Got a lot of Big Ten ACC Challenge games, which we'll get into, a couple of other sides as well. And I talked about this yesterday. The great thing about now in college basketball is the neutral stuff is over. No more neutral crap. We've got games that are at home road games. It's a lot easier to figure things out when you have stuff like this going on. So obviously in a much better predicament from a college basketball standpoint. So the game is over. The USA has advanced. They are moving on. They are moving on to the next round. The knockout stage, I believe, is over. Yes, the knockout stage is over. So now they move on. We'll see how that goes. We'll talk about that in another day. But college basketball is here. I want to talk a little bit about last night, though, because it was interesting, right? The penalty shootout. We had all these bloggers set up, and they were taking shots against 8 different Barstool personalities. And it was fun. I didn't know if I'd even get up at any point. But I did. I was able to get up, and it all set up perfectly. You see Reeker's name in the list. I don't think I think he put out merch last year. He had some stuff that he promoted, but I didn't know if they'd put him in or not. And they ended up obviously setting it up perfectly where he comes up, he takes a shot, and he made it. It was a great shot. Like I said, Tim Howard couldn't have stopped that. And he showed up. I'll give him that. And I wrote a blog about it recently. The only people that are losing in the Rico Nadu beef, and it's really only Rico beef, I don't have any issue with him at this point. I've moved on. The only people that are losing are the viewers, that they can't get the best content possible. Because whether you like me or not, I know he will paint me as I'm not on his level or anything. But the truth is, I mean, the content would be very good. And that was pretty evident last night, right? The lead up to it, it stole the show. So what are you going to do? Like I said in the blog, I have delusions of grandeur that someday it'll change. But, I can't sit around and wait for him to decide when he wants to do content. I've created other avenues, and I'll continue to build what I'm building. So it is what it is. But welcome in everybody out there watching. Who do we have in here today? Cody Ass Masher, interesting name. James M, Justin Casey, Chess and Poker Daily, K Psyche. Chess and Poker says great play on Troy yesterday. Thank you. Yes, that ended up being a pretty easy winner. Mike David, Ben, Phillip, Ty, Dalton, Tyler Smith, Jonesy, Andrew, Colby. What's up? You gave out USA to be eliminated. Yes, I did. And they didn't get eliminated. They almost did, but they didn't. Respect for putting yourself out there. Yes, always. Listen, as I said in the blog as well, when you work at Barstool, if you have shame, you will not continue to grow in your career. You have to have no shame. You have to be willing to put yourself out there. Listen, guys, there are times where I put myself out there. I'm not exactly proud of how I'm being portrayed, but you got to do what you got to do. And that's how you surround yourself and get yourself into content. All right, let's get into today's slate. What do you say? If you have a game you want me to talk about, feel free to drop it in the chat and we will get to it here. All you have to do is ask the question and I will do my attempt to get to it. Rico and Nadu on a college hoops gambling is my wet dream. Well, you and among many people. But unfortunately, there are certain people that don't want to do it. You are losing the company money. Well, luckily you're here to help us, right, Tucker? By you helping here, you're one of the people watching every day. So, and Tucker, I hate to say this, I don't know if you want to compare our numbers with some of your favorite content creators, because I don't think it would work real well for you, would it? So stand back, Tucker. Let the real men get to what they have to do. But thanks for watching, Tucker. We appreciate you. Almost 200 people in here. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. We generally have 800 people in here. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. Can you shout out my friend Sky? Sure. Sky, what's up? Thanks for watching. And by the way, I don't think I'm losing the company money, Tucker. I have a very successful podcast that had 130,000 downloads last month. So I don't think I'm losing anybody money. And again, the company doesn't really put much money into me other than my salary. I don't have any producers. I do my own content. So it's important you get your facts straight before you talk. All right. All right. Let's move on. Let's move on. I want to start first and talk a little bit about last night. Really not a big card. We didn't have much going on. I kind of thought there were some decent spots. Obviously, Troy was a good one. Nice late cover from Minnesota. They get inside the 12 and lose by 10. Nice second half for Washington. They kind of blew out Seattle in the second half. If you had the over, you got really lucky. That ended up flying over somehow. And what else did I mention? Oh, the Mississippi State game. It was a low-scoring game. I think Mississippi State ended up winning by 21, I think. But other than that, it was kind of a numb night for me. I didn't really do much last night. All I had was Troy, a couple dollars on them, and that was able to come in. So let me get into some games here. If you have a game you want me to talk about, feel free to ask it. First game, Virginia to crush Michigan, correct? No, I don't think that's a spot where Virginia crushes. I think on paper, yeah. I mean, do I have much interest in fading Virginia right now? Not really. But there are a couple of things that make me wonder here. First of which, first true road game for Virginia, right? Coming into Michigan, that's never easy to do. I've actually been quite disappointed with Michigan on multiple levels this year. Defensively, they've not looked good at all. Hunter Dickinson, I think, has been very passive in a lot of games. But I don't know if he's going to have a ton of success in this game. I think it's everyone else is going to have to score. You need to have a better game out of Jalen Llewellyn. It's hard to go against Virginia right now. But this number looks strikingly low to me, to be honest. This kind of comes to me as one of those, and this is why it's hard to handicap Michigan, because there'll be games where they just look super poor, right? And then they'll come out in this spot and blow out Virginia and win by 20, and you'll think, wow, Michigan is still pretty good. If I had to play this game, which I am not playing this game, but if I had to play this game, I would use the home atmosphere, Chrysler Center. You got a Michigan team. Well, I think on paper, regardless of how they played recently, I still think they're a very good basketball team. I think Jalen Llewellyn is an upgrade from what they've had over the last couple of years. I like Jett Howard. I think if Joey Baker can give you something, that will be huge in this game. Obviously, I think Terrence Williams is a great defender on the perimeter. I still don't know. We know that Virginia has multiple guys that can score the basketball, but do they have that one star that can go out and tear you apart? I don't think they do. I feel like tonight's a game where Michigan hits some jump shots. They're going to have to hit some jump shots because the defense that Virginia plays is very tough to get into the lane on. You're not going to be able to kind of get to the line and create like that. You're going to have to hit some jump shots. You're going to have to make shots in the half court. Do I think Virginia crushes Michigan? No, I don't. I think you get a stand here from Michigan. That's what I think. Thanks for watching, Canes Nation. I appreciate it. Trace Turner, I can't believe Rico scored on you. Why is that so hard to believe? I mean, I don't know if you noticed, but the goal was huge, dude. I mean, who cares? It's content. I couldn't give a fuck if he scored on me. I don't care. I don't have any shame. I will tell you right now, he shot great. There's nothing I can do there. I'm sure, Trace, you'd have stopped it, right? What are you, 8 foot tall? You could have reached up and grabbed it? Fucking Tim Howard couldn't have stopped that shot. Ronaldo couldn't have shot a better shot than that. Give me a break. There's always these fucking goofy clowns. I would have stopped it. No, you wouldn't have. You would have did the same shit I would have did. Fuck out of here. Always a fucking commenter. Always a goddamn commenter. The dickheads in the chat, I would have stopped it. No, you wouldn't have. You'd have did the same shit I would have did. You would have stood there and not did nothing. Fuck out of here. All right, let me get into a couple games that I have my eye on tonight. Clemson and Penn State. Okay, I identified this matchup straight away as a matchup that concerned me if I'm Penn State. because Micah Shrewsbury, they love the three ball. They're big in the pick and roll. They love the offensive metrics. Shoot a lot of threes. But I've been very impressed with this Clemson defense. Shout out Brad Burnell. I'm not a big Brad Burnell guy, but this defense has looked good to start the season. PJ Hall starting to get healthy. He's back in there. He's giving you something. I like this team, man. I really like this team. And if you can defend in the pick and roll, you can defend Penn State. And you got to figure at some point there's going to be some regression from Penn State. I mean, they're not going to continue to shoot, top 8 in the country from 3 all season. You look at the one team that they kind of stepped up and played. Virginia Tech, a top 40 team, lost the game. Now you got to go to Clemson and play in Littlejohn, a straight home road atmosphere. I like this Clemson team, man. I'm not always a Burnell guy. I'm not. But I like what I've seen out of Chase Hunter, Brevin Galloway. I mentioned PJ Hall. This is a solid Clemson team. They really are. I think this is where some aggression comes from Penn State. I think this is a tough spot. I think this is a team that could definitely defend what you want to do and kind of shut that pick and roll offense down that's so effective. And what do we talk about? I talked about this with Penn State when they played Virginia Tech. Penn State is very three-point reliant. If they're making threes, you ain't going to beat them. But if they go on the road in a wonky atmosphere on a Tuesday night out of conference off of a holiday and can't make shots, they can get blown out pretty quickly. Should be a great game, but I like Clemson. I think it's a buy time on the Tigers. Already back from the office. Yeah, came back last night. Guys, I'm based in Pennsylvania. This is where I live. I don't live in New York. You're the man. Thank you, MD. I appreciate that. Let's get to do you want to catch a falling knife, if you will? And that's basically what you're doing here. Do you want to catch a falling knife at Louisville? I don't. I have no interest in betting this team. And until there's some consistency there, how do you bet Louisville? They're 356th in America in turnover percentage. So what does that mean? They're having trouble putting quality possessions together, let alone scoring. And now you got to go play a long and lengthy Maryland team that's playing out of their minds right now. This is a really bad team in Louisville. Keep in mind, you played I think 3 or 4 games against top 75 teams, lost by 19 plus in every game. They're not even hanging in these games. They're not like 6, 7, 5-point games, and then maybe they lose by 10. No, they're down like 38-12 and lose 75-40, like every game. Eventually, it will probably turn and they'll play a little bit better. But I have a hard time trusting this team. I have no interest in betting on them. And again, until we see something from them, it's hard to consistently bet on them. It just is. What do you think about Tarleton against Weber State tonight? Well, look, I mean, Tarleton State's been a dog in every game, right? They played upper tier competition. They're getting points. They're in neutral sites, and they're catching up a team on no rest, and they're going to press you. Tonight, they're playing Weber State, who they're almost a double-digit favorite again. So the role is reversed on Tarleton State. They're not conducive, regardless of what you think about Tarleton. I like Tarleton. A lot of good basketball people like Tarleton because they press. They're a tough team to prepare for. They've got good guard play, but they don't necessarily a lot of the time cover these numbers because they have so many small possession games. It's hard for them to cover a double-digit victory because there's just not a ton of possessions in their games. Now, Weber has some issues. You talk about turnovers. Weber State has all sorts of turnover issues. The point guard play is not good. They benched their point guard recently, Dylan Jones. This is not the team in Weber that we know of in the years past. They had a coach, Randy Rahe. He's gone. Totally new coach there. They're a much different team than we know of them in the past. You know, the teams with Damian Lillard or the teams that made the NCAA tournament. This isn't that team, okay? And it's not even close to the team we've seen over the last 5-ish years even. Do I want to lay points with Tarleton, though? I'd more or less be inclined in backing Tarleton than would be in backing Weber State. But I like Tarleton in dog rolls. I don't really like them laying points, if that makes sense. Syracuse. This kind of reminds me of another game like Michigan, right? Where what do we know about Syracuse? Lost 2 straight games, really haven't looked good this season. The talk of the weekend was the Judah Mintz and Doug Edert slap, which, look, I give Edert credit for slapping a guy back. I mean, you got to give him credit for that. He'd have been a pussy if he didn't do anything. I'm not going to get on Doug Edert. I really don't have any issue with how he behaved with the bigger guy. Everyone would have behaved the same way. He put his hands up. Look, if the big guy and him face each other, the big guy knocks him out. Everybody knows that. Doug Edert slapped the kid back that slapped him. I have no issue with it. Good for him. As far as Syracuse tonight, this kind of screams similar to the Michigan rise up moment, right? Illinois is a great team. I love Sky Clark. I love, most of this team. They're great offensively. They've had a lot of success, but you look at the one time they stepped up and played a good defensive team, Virginia. They lost. They scored 61 points. Tonight is another tough matchup because what are you going to do? You're going to run into a team that plays zone. They're going to make you make shots. Now, Illinois can make them for sure, but this struck me as a couple of too many points. We know Cuse is going to defend at a high level. We know you're going to have to make shots to win games against Cuse. It's a very rudimentary way of thinking when you play Syracuse, but it's that true. It's true. You have to go in and hit your 3-ball. If you're not, Syracuse is going to stay in games because the way they defend is conducive to that. And they're also pretty good offensively. You like Joe Girard, you like Judah Mintz, you like some of the kids they have. They're always long and lengthy. They have big guards that can get out and guard the perimeter. This seemed like too many points to me. I didn't ultimately get there with it, but it's definitely an interesting one. I, again, thought Illinois was kind of unpacked against Virginia, who presents another very interesting defensive game for you. Maryland's got to be a play. Louisville's horrible. Yeah, I have no issue with it. UMass -2.5 against South Florida. Yeah, I didn't get there with it. Seems way too low to me. Why South Florida only a 2.5-point dog? I'm not going to tell you to bet them here, but you have to look at South Florida and say this. They don't really get blown out, to be honest. They lose every game, seemingly. They have won 2 straight, and the other games were fairly close. I think this number is probably low enough where you probably get out of there with a win. But something tells me UMass this year is going to be a team that every game is tied with 30 seconds to go. And you're going to be in a fucking dogfight on whether they can hit free throws or not. This number seems strikingly low. I mean, think if you're a UMass player, right? You got to go down to South Florida. You know no one's going to be at this game tonight. Just kind of a feel in your head. It's a Tuesday night. And you're off a holiday. You're kind of looking forward to conference play in a way. It'd be cool if you're going down and playing like Florida or Miami. Playing South Florida. A team on paper, you're better than. I don't know if the mindset's there tonight for them. This number seems a little too low to me. If this is 5.5, I'd play UMass, but 2.5 seems strikingly low to me. I already played that one. I need Coppin State to play for an easy over, or you just need to find different teams to bet on. It's a rat line in UVA, Michigan. Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you at all. Kentucky is overrated. How do you feel? How? Explain. What do you think about Houston, Norfolk State under? Well, I'll tell you this about Houston. They're off a game where they didn't play well against Kent State. What was that? 49-44. They won the game, but it wasn't easy. Kent State just played really well. Good for them. This looks like a game where I'd go right back to the well with Houston. Couple of concerns I have for Robert Jones and Norfolk State. They run a zone. They're going to throw a zone at you, and it's been kind of unpacked over the years by good teams. Even this year, UCLA and Baylor throttled Norfolk State. NCAA tournament last year, Baylor throttled Norfolk State. I think they won by 36, 85, 49. When we look at Houston, they're just so talented across the board. And then you realize how talented they are on offense, but they also have the best defense in America. You're not going to have your best defender tonight if you're Norfolk State, from what I understand. Kid's out, I believe. He didn't play last game. That's not great. And you just look at the domination that Houston has at home. I mean, you look at last season at home, Houston won games on average all season in the conference play by 24 points a game on average. It means every game they were winning by 24 points or more. It was likely more. They blew teams out at home. You look at so far this season, they're winning games on average by 27 points a game. Now you ask yourself, do you play an under? I feel like Houston gets to 80 plus. Norfolk State probably gets to 50, maybe. I like Houston in the first half in this game, to be honest. You look at their 4 games against bad opponents this year, 44-20 against Texas Southern at the half, 51-24 against Oral Roberts, 46-26 against St. Joe's at the half, 32-13 against Northern Colorado at the half. They're laying 15.5 tonight in the first half against Norfolk. Come out off a bad game. You're the number 1 team in the country. You hit some big shots early against a bad zone. You go up 12-2. You don't look back. You win, and you're up at the half 45-19. That's what I'm asking for tonight. Typical run out. Good team. Number 1 team in the country with a great defense. Off a bad game against a subpar MEAC opponent. You blow them out. That's what I'm asking for tonight. Look, if Norfolk hangs in this game and is down, 38-32 at the half, solid, whatever. This is a play I will always make. Now, would I play an under in this game? What do I have on a total here? Bear with me. Let me take a look. I don't have all the games in front of me. Total is 129.5. It's not much, I mean, if Houston gets to 80, you're probably going to lose. So why not just play Norfolk State's under? Maybe you just play that. I wouldn't want to be – because Houston can hit you 2 ways. They're great defensively, and they're really good on offense. So they should have a lot of rebounds in this game. They'll hit the glass hard. Yeah, I wouldn't look at an under full game. I would look at some sort of Norfolk State under if I'm looking at an under here. What's your read on Nova going forward? I'm no interest. No interest. They have not started well under Kyle Neptune. Now, that, again, it's early. You let it play it out, but they have not looked good. It's a wait-and-see approach with them. What are your thoughts on Missouri and Wichita? I like Missouri, but I got to tell you, I was impressed with what Wichita did the other night. I know people say, well, it was Tarleton, but Tarleton is a tough team to prepare for. They can come in and completely unpack you. Wichita looked really good, and they're a great defensive team under Isaac Brown. I think it's a close game. I look under the number. For sure, under the number. Wichita loves to play games in the 50s. That's what they do. Look at their tempo, 330 in America. It's kind of a clash in styles here, but you got to go to Wichita. And I have to feel like Wichita kind of sets the tempo in this game. You got the 11th fastest tempo against 266 fastest tempo. Kind of an in-state, kind of semi-close state matchup here. Kansas and Missouri. Do we actually think Missouri is as good offensively as they've shown here? But when we look further at their schedule, guys, let's continue to make this clear. They have played Southern Indiana, Penn, Lindenwood, SIU Edwardsville, Mississippi Valley State, Coastal Carolina, and Houston Christian. They have not played a team in the top 200 this year. Now, you step up and got to go to the Shock House, or whatever they call it, Koch Arena, and play Wichita. A team that is going to make you get out of the type of game you want to play. I like Dennis Gates. I think he's a great coach. I loved him at Cleveland State. I like the Moy Hodge. I like the fact that a lot of these kids followed him. But something tells me they kind of get thrown in a kind of a washer, if you will. And they really got to just kind of batten down the hatches and play a tempo they don't want to play at. Clash and styles games. I don't like these kind of games, and I'm always going to go with the team. A lot of the time, it's going to slow the game down. 350-ish people in here watching live on YouTube. Welcome in. That's not to count all the people that are watching on Twitter and Facebook. Thanks for being here, guys. I appreciate it. If you enjoy the show and you'd like to comment, feel free to leave one. If you have a game you want me to talk about, you're welcome to do that as well. Going to be on here for another about 15 or so minutes. What's my favorite line of the day? I mean, I just gave you 2 plays. I like Clemson. I'm going to play them on the money line against Penn State. And I also like Houston in the first half, minus 15.5. Michigan's been bad in the first half and don't think they have what it takes against Virginia. Okay. I disagree. You're only in the office 1 day a week. This again. Yikes. Go away already. These people are annoying. Go away. Michael, what's up, my man? How you doing? What else do I have here that I wanted to get into? I have a sheet. I talked Tarleton. I talked a lot of the games I kind of wanted to get into. Talk about Furman App State game. I always lean Furman. I mean, they've had the same team for like years now with Bothwell and Slauson and some of those guys. You know, I always like Bob Ritchie's teams offensively, but I don't like them much defensively. I mean, I've kind of mentioned the word unpacked. I mean, they were unpacked in a couple of games this year, and that's generally how they look. I don't really know what I have with Furman because, you know, in the only game they stepped up in against Penn State in that Charleston Classic, they didn't play well. This team, per usual, is not good on defense. App State, though, is not going to present much of a problem. You know, they just don't have much on either side of the basketball. So I would lean with Furman, but you always got to worry about your defense. Nadu was on Iran. I was not on Iran for sure. I would have thought U.S. would probably win. I didn't play it, though. Iran's not good. Some say Nadu is the worst gambler in Barstool Sports history. Wow, we are really getting inundated today with fans of the show. Welcome in, Rico's daddy. Thank you for watching. Another person that doesn't understand by you watching the show, it helps me. And I think you know that's so ridiculous. You know, it's funny. You do realize Rico Bosco literally is down like hundreds of units in his career, right? What are you talking about? Nobody goes to Rico Bosco for gambling advice. Nobody. That's just a fact. I'm not going to try to talk bad about the guy, but what are we doing here? Listen, you want to troll, like, at least be funny about it. Like, you come in here and just say nonsense. It's like, there's a reason I'm on this show right now, and Rico Bosco is wherever the fuck he is, you know? All right. Hell no, Louisville's been terrible. Yes, they have. Do you follow PA high school basketball? I do, on occasion, yes. What else do we have here? A lot of comments. I'm done with Syracuse. Give me Illinois minus 12. All right. I mean, I think it's too early to be done with the team, bro. I think that's a little crazy. I mean, we're only 5 or 6 games into the season. Why would you be done already with the team? That's kind of wild. Ethan Carter, what's going on, my man? TJB, yeah, I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm getting there. I had a little bit of a cold, but I'm getting back. I'm getting there. Dylan Holly says USA. Yeah, there you go. Great. Good job. Now you got to keep winning. I didn't think they'd get past this, but they did. Nice win today. I know VMI is bad, but do you trust Presbyterian? I mean, neither team's very good. I'd put the number at a pick 'em. So yeah, I would take whoever's getting points in that game. Both teams are bad. They're going to both try to press. Just a mess. Big Michigas. Houston's going to run it up tonight. Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I think are going to be pissed off. UCI, SDS State thoughts under. Both good defensive teams. I like San Diego State, but I'm not going to be quick to just go back on them. They screwed me over in a couple of games in that Maui Invitational. Just really irritating. Charlotte and Davidson, I didn't have much in that game. Lean Davidson, always a great offensive team down there. Whoever's coaching the game, whether it's McKillop or the younger McKillop. You do a great job of breaking down these games, best in the business. Thanks, bro. I wouldn't say that, but I appreciate your kind words. No, I have no interest in jumping in front of Charleston. Seems like Charleston, I actually did make money fading them last week. I think it was who Kent State or Akron played them. But yeah, I'm not. They play so quick and up and down. No, I like Pat Kelsey too. He's kind of lays it on teams. That's really all I'm thinking about though today, guys. Not a real crazy card. I mean, you don't have tons and tons of games by any means. For me, I'm going to rock with Clemson tonight on the money line against Penn State. And I'm also going to go with Houston, minus 15.5 against Norfolk State in the first half. I didn't have time to put them up today. Sorry. I had other things I was doing. Any plays, don't yell at me. Yep, just had them. How much do you think Virginia's pack line D will impact Dickinson's? Got to think Michigan will need to make threes. Yeah, that's exactly what I said. He has been very tentative in games too. In games that he should blow a team out, as far as Jackson State, I think he had 6 points. He's got to be more, decisive. I don't know much about that team total. Again, I don't think it's a bad play. I mean, they're having trouble stringing possessions together, let alone scoring. Why does my girlfriend have this saved on alerts? Should I be worried? I don't believe so. I haven't contacted her, and she hasn't contacted me just yet. But now that you put it on my radar, maybe I'll have to. What is an athletic competition that you could beat Rico at? We know you're a better gambler. What is an athletic competition that you could beat Rico at? I don't know. I've never really thought about it. I guess I don't know. I haven't really thought about that. I'd probably knock him out. I know that. I'm in a much different place from a boxing standpoint than I was before. The thing about people like me, right? When you don't like something that's going on with, like for me, when I don't like something, I change it, right? I was really fat. I didn't like that. So I went out and lost 140 pounds. I like the kind of person I am. So I change. I try to do things that will benefit other people instead of just worrying about myself. I wasn't a good boxer at Rough and Rowdy. So I looked at it and said, even though I probably won't ever do this again, how can I get better at this? I actually enjoy it. I like going and doing the cardio. I learn a little bit. You get a little quicker on things. I would beat him in that. I'm confident in that. Sometimes you just realize that some people don't have it in them to fight. And you could say what you want about me, but I'll always get in a ring and fight, regardless if I'm going to lose or not. I'm going to defend myself. So I think I would beat him with that. But I don't know. He seems like a decently athletic person. I don't know. I don't know too much about him from a personal standpoint. Any hotties you get this weekend? No, we actually had a blowout, me and one of my chicks. So that's over. So I was kind of picking up the pieces, and I had to deal with that on Saturday night. But no, I didn't. I actually got two of my chicks mad at me, to be honest. What are you gonna do? Move on to somebody else, I guess. Talk me out of laying the points with Louisville tonight. I'm not sure what you mean. They're not laying points. You mean you got to be a little more? Are you saying you want to take the points? I don't know what you're talking about, bro. What mid-major conference do you see as the most deepest or most improved? And do you have a handful of these teams that you'll be riding blindly for the time being? Yeah, Bryant. I'll keep telling you that. I would probably bet Bryant until something's different. As far as, yeah, I don't know. I'll have to come up with that. I mean, Tarleton, I've talked about that many times. Who else? Who else do I like betting on? I'll give you a list tomorrow. We'll maybe do that once a week. We'll come up with like the teams to bet on, teams to fade. I used to do that a lot. Charles Williams says, Rico is in Boston today with Dave Portnoy, and you were sitting alone in your apartment like you do every day. Other than yesterday, though, right? That makes sense. Yeah, this is what I do. My job is to do content. I'm here doing my show, and I have 400 people in here watching, Charles, including you. Thanks for being here. Nothing says boycott people's content like sitting here watching every minute of it. And he's not in Boston. He's there slobbing knobs with people. That's what he's doing. Why is he there anyway? Well, he isn't even. Isn't he? Is he on one of the? I guess he's on one of the teams. Well, that tells you why, Charles. He's on one of the teams. If I was on one of the teams, I would go. I wasn't invited. There's a lot of people that weren't invited, dumbass. I don't think you know how Barstool works. Are Florida State and Louisville the worst bottom two in any Power Five? Yes, for sure. Yes, they are. They're very bad. Thanks for watching, Al. Appreciate it, bro. Is Doug Edert going to the NBA? No. Why not just play the wagon that is Houston first half? Did you just join? I think we've talked about that one before. Sean Studebaker says hack. Thanks for watching, Sean. Thanks, James. I am well. Good to see you, brother. All right. Thoughts in Indiana UNC with Baycott questionable to play? Well, that's my thought. I wouldn't have any interest on it until I know what his status is. And I'll tell you another thing. I don't love Indiana right now. Outside of Xavier Johnson and Trace Jackson Davis, what do you have there? Haven't been real impressed with Hood Schifino, but I need to know what was going on with him first. Why do you say you're 5'8"? You're 5'5" max. Well, because I went to the doctor and that's what they told me. Why are you so concerned about how tall another guy is? I can't control it, man, unfortunately. I wish I could. I wish that was one thing I could change. I'd make myself a little bit taller. But you know what? I am so confident about who I am. That's what makes you so sad, Charles. It makes you so mad that someone like me is so fucking confident. I don't give a fuck, bro. I'm good. I'm going to go out and do what I do regardless. And that's why the people are starting to love me. That's why. Charles, you know what? I'm going to give you an opportunity. You want to come on the show? I'll drop you the link right now. You want to come on? Show your face and let's see who we're speaking to here. I'm curious. You have a lot to say. Why don't you come on? What do you like tonight? Who do you like tonight? You have a play? We'll do, instead of callers, we'll just drop you the link. You want to come on? Come say it to my face. And maybe you can give us a play. I wish I could change my height, but I can't. Pittsburgh looked surprisingly good last night. Yes, they did. They're starting to figure it out. No, I don't. I made money off Bellarmine the other night, though. I played them plus 22.5 against UCLA. They covered. Can they do it twice in a row? I don't think. Where in Pennsylvania do you live? I'm close to Pittsburgh. Lancaster. Nadu looked great in the ring against Jersey Jerry. Well, I made $100,000, so it's okay. It worked out. I bet that makes you feel bad, Charles, doesn't it? Do you follow Joey Yanks? No, I don't think I do. What's up, Justin? Thanks, brother. You can't believe how bad of a driver I am? I'm a great driver. I evaded an accident last night. Did you see that fucking move with the wheel? I get where I need to. It's all good. I've actually never been in an accident, so it's all good. Do you know Brian Fitzsimmons at Barstool? Yes, I saw him yesterday. Hey, Luke. Appreciate that. Thanks for watching. Danny Garcia, my man. Thanks, brother. Appreciate you. Sir Barkley. Thanks, bro. Good to see you here as always. I'm on, like I said, I'm on Clemson money line and Houston first half. They're not firing Kyle Neptune. Relax, dude. Come on, man. 5-6 games into the season. Brandon Walker wasn't invited, and it's his show. Well, exactly. Good point, Cade Brown. Thank you. FSU Brando, what's up, my brother? Charles Williams, still here. 39 minutes and 18 seconds in the show. Charles Williams is still here. Biggest fan of mine, this guy right here. Love it. Open Crib Podcast says, wow, lucky. What do you mean, lucky? Which conference champion has more value? UConn, Jesus Christ, bro. I think you listed every fucking team in America. I know you're high on Texas and Creighton. I got to tell you, man, that UConn team looks really good. That said, am I wanting to play 220 against Creighton? No. SLU, I think that's a good one. I think they're surely the best team. And in the A10, Yeah, I think SLU's surely the best team in the A10. Purdue, no interest. UCLA, I think that's a good one. Baylor, too many good teams, no interest. Arky, I like betting them as the season goes on. I think SLU, that's a good one. I think they should be a favorite for sure. No, I don't know how it works at all. I've only been around for 5+ years. Nobody actually says cringe in real life. No, I know. Only people like Charles. Should I empty the bank? You shouldn't empty the bankroll on anything. What's up, Anthony? Thanks, my brother. Yes, he's still here. He's still here, though. Still here. You're so confident until someone posted your 15 and 20. How do I? First of all, I've not played 40 games on this show. Second of all, Chuck T, how do you know? You would just make that up. You would just make that up. I don't know who that is. Who's Joey Yanks? I've mentioned multiple times how you can get unblocked. You can contact me, the sitdown777 at gmail.com, and we'll get you unblocked. We've talked about that before. But again, I'm going to look into why you were blocked. And if you were blocked because you're just a douche and you're talking about stupid shit and saying racist shit and stuff like that, you're not being unblocked. I'll come on. No, you won't. I dropped the link and you wouldn't come on. You wouldn't do nothing. You know damn well you wouldn't do nothing. No, I couldn't care less about drops. Appreciate all your knowledge. Been following you since your days with Donnie. My man. I appreciate that. Shout out Donnie, my man. That's a good dude right there. Still nearly 400 people in here. Welcome in. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you checking in. All right, guys, I'm out. I don't have much on Baylor Marquette. I have no interest in Shaka Smart against teams like Baylor. No interest. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I have to go work out. It's time. The gym is calling my name. I need to go run my mile. I need to go get my work in because I need to keep my body in great shape. That's why I'm only 210 pounds, folks, because I continue to hit the treadmill. All right, I'm out. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Same time, same place, 4 o'clock Eastern. It'll be Wednesday. Make sure you check in. Make sure you say hello. And make sure you continue to watch, as always. I'm out of here. I'll catch you all tomorrow. And good luck tonight in college basketball. Later.